everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel. I'm here today with Slothy. Slothy, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I had small vacation there. We were off last week, Canadian holidays, Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone out here, and next month, I believe it's for the American listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good and stuff. A lot of family stuff goes on. Like, I got a big family, so we were pretty busy with that stuff. And then lots of busy moving things around. I moved my studio stuff from downstairs to a different place in the house. So, yeah, busy week for me.
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully everything went well with you, and hopefully everyone's doing really well and stuff. I'm hoping everyone enjoyed the holiday, but we're back now.
Yeah, time to talk about some magic.
Yes, so... I brewed this deck a while ago, getting right into it, and it's not a good deck. I'm gonna say this right now. There's better ways to build this that won't make your friends so angry. But this one makes friends angry. I played like a 2.5 hour game of Magic last night with this deck, so it's a lot. This week we're talking Meria, Scholar of Antiquity. It's 1 red and 1 green for an elf artificer. It is a 3/3, so fairly alright stats, and a good tribe if you wanted to make it more elf tribal, but I didn't. So it has tap and untap non-token artifact you control, you add a green. Tap 2 untap non-token artifacts you control, you exile the top card of your library, and you can play it this turn.
I love this commander so much.
Yeah, so it already brings us a lot, like a really, really phenomenal ability to ramp, but also it lets us do some silly stuff with the tapping of the 2 untapped non-token artifacts, right? So as you can imagine, this deck is really, really artifact heavy. Like we got 43 artifacts in the deck. So between artifacts and lands, like 32 lands, 43 artifacts. So like we have like nearly a 75-ish, 75% chance that we're drawing something that's going to generate us mana.
Yeah. Which
is a lot. Yeah. We'll end in our creatures and artifacts here. I just also love the flavor text on the Why Fear Artifice. Is it not also of this world? Yeah, like there's nothing to be afraid of here. Just a friendly group hug deck.
Exactly.
It's
although if Dan ever says he's playing group hug,
it's a friendly group hug deck.
I don't know if I trust that one.
Yeah, we'll start. I'll start on our instance stuff. It's a really, really simple instance section. We start with Beast Within, 2 and a green. You destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast. Nothing bad there.
Then we got Comet Storm, X double red. It's got multi-kicker for 1. Choose any target, then choose another target for each time the spell was kicked. Comet Storm deals X damage to each of them.
As I said earlier when we started here, we've got over 70 sources of mana in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not going to bother us.
No, not at all.
Yeah. That's not really going to affect us pretty much at all, but it is gonna really, really dish out a lot of damage. It can be used to really wipe the board really fast, and obviously 70 damage generally kills people pretty quick.
Yeah.
We've got lots of weird alternate wins in this deck, which I like.
Yeah, I really like this next one here.
Yeah, take it, please.
Sure. This next one is Rampage of the Clans. 3 in the green. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller creates a 3/3 green centaur creature token.
Yeah.
So late game, this is just kind of go wide win con.
Yeah, exactly. We're generally going to have more artifacts than everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like you mentioned, there's 43, so I'd certainly hope so.
Yeah, if maybe a wild enchantment deck, but you'll know who you need to be killing and stuff when you're playing, and there's a few things. This deck is pretty interesting control wise, I think, at least. I really like this next card as well, the Wild Magic Surge. It's double red.
Yeah.
It's an instant. You destroy target permanent opponent controls. They reveal cards from the top until they reveal a permanent that shares a card type with it. Put it onto the battlefield in a random order. I actually am just falling more and more in love with this card. It's just an uncommon from, I think, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Was that Baldur's Gate?
Yep.
Yeah. Just an uncommon from Baldur's Gate. It's crept up a little bit in price, around $3, but number one, you can Isochron Scepter this, but number two, this hits every permanent, the same reason I like Beast Within. And if you have if you're trying to be annoying with like a Cabal Coffers, for instance, right? This is, you can go to your next forest or whatever you're going to roll. You know, like Wild Magic Surge is really, really good. It takes care of a lot of the really, really problem lands, like the big, powerful ones. Cradle and Itlamok hits the table, something like that. You're really going to be able to get a lot of value out of this card. And yeah, just as well, it's really funny to see someone's like really good card get rolled into like a Birds of Paradise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like their best artifact in the deck into like like a terrible mana rock. Yeah.
Yeah, they're mana vault into, but yeah.
And it can come out so early, right? It can, I thought about putting the initial version of this deck had a lot of the wheels in it. And I was like, you know what? No, I can't go that way. But one of my favorite plays to do in all of Magic, which will make you no friends in your playgroup, is to keep a Winds of Change in your first hand and just make everyone discard their opening hand. Because everyone mulligans away. Everyone's like, okay, I've got enough mana to play this. And if you make them throw it away, hilarious. It's so funny. Like I cannot stress enough how much I enjoy doing that. But I decided not to in this deck. But it was on my mind.
You're a terrible person.
Yeah. And then I'll let you take this last one here.
Yeah, this next one is Will's Reversal. 2 in a red. Choose target spell or ability with 1 or more targets. Roll a d20 and add the greatest power among creatures you control. So 1 to 14, you may choose a new target for that spell or ability, or 15 and up, you may choose new targets for that spell or ability, then copy it, and you may choose new targets for the copy.
Yeah,
I really like this one.
I like it too. I love winning big on the dice roll.
Yeah,
we generally don't have a lot of huge creatures in this deck, but
no, but still, even having the
redirect is nice. Yeah, and you don't need the redirect on a budget because you can get the What's the red one from the commander decks? The 0 cost.
Deflecting Swat.
Yeah. Obviously, with a deflecting Swat, it's going to be a better spot, but.
Yeah, but it's a $80 card right now.
Yeah.
We'll go. Where do you want to go next?
We'll go into our sorceries. You know what? We'll go into enchantments first.
Sure.
So enchantment number 1, we've got Burning Earth. It's 3 in a red. Whenever player taps a non-basic for land, it deals 1 damage to them.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
And it looks like you've got 2 non-basic lands you're going to be tapping for mana in this deck.
Yeah, I'm okay in this one.
Yeah, nice. Then we've got Descent into Avernus, 2 in a red. At the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 Descent counters on Descent into Avernus. Then each player creates X treasure tokens, and Descent into Avernus deals X damage to each player, where X is the number of Descent counters on Descent into Avernus.
I love this card.
Yeah, I like this one.
It really dings the table down in damage. It gives everyone some ramp. Who can complain, right?
Exactly.
I'll let you take the next one, too.
Sure. This next one is Impending Disaster, 1 in a red. During your upkeep, if there are 7 or more lands in place, sacrifice Impending Disaster and destroy all lands.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Meria just gives us so much mana that we don't really need our lands, and we also don't really need our hands. Like, it's no lands, no hands, we're good to go.
Exactly. You can just exile the top cards of your library anyway.
Yes. So like anything, this hit the table, a Possibility Storm hit the table yesterday. And again, that doesn't really inconvenience us. Possibility Storm is something that really should get slotted into this deck soon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does a lot of work. I might take it out for the Chatterstorm, but we'll get to the Chatterstorm. We also have Kenrith's Transformation because I think it's one of the most annoying pieces of removal that exists in Magic.
It's so good.
It's 1 in the green. It's an aura. When it enters, you draw a card, which is awesome. Who can complain? And then enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a green elk with base power and toughness 3/3. It's one of the. I hate this card so much. You can't send your commander to the command zone. You lose all of its ability. You build the deck around. It's rough.
This next one kind of fits in really nicely with that too.
Yep.
This next one is Lignify, 1 in a green enchant creature. Enchanted creature is a 0/4 tree folk with no abilities.
Yeah, that one's pretty rough.
Starting to see why this game took 2.5 hours yesterday.
It took a while, yeah. It was a long game. I had fun though. We also have Passionate Archaeologist, 1 and a red. Commander creatures you own have, whenever you cast a spell from exile, it deals damage equal to its mana value to target opponent. A lot of our stuff is going to be not big, but like we talked about the Comet Storm, if you, let's say it's really, really late game, you've got 50 sources of artifacts out, which is pretty easy, like 50 sources of mana. Being able to ping someone, like you exile that Comet Storm from the top, being able to just outright hit someone with 50 damage before even Comet Storming is amazing. And this is a cast trigger, so even if they're countering, you're still able to wipe someone off the board.
Yeah, this one's really good.
Yeah, I really, really like this card in this deck.
Yeah, then the final enchantment here is Street Urchin, 1 in a red. This is a background. Commander creatures you own pay 1 and sacrifice another creature or an artifact. This creature deals 1 damage to any target.
Yeah, I like this one a lot too.
Yeah, this one's pretty good.
We've got a ton of artifacts in here, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say, especially with how many artifacts we've got in this deck as well.
Well, and the nice thing too is they all tap themselves for mana. I really do wish that it wasn't non-token, because then I could have gone more into a treasure theme, but I understand why.
Yeah, true. I think it's making treasures a lot more powerful than they already are.
Right.
If that was the case. Which, I mean, not bad.
Yeah. That's, again, our enchantment section, it's so cheap. It's $14. We're going to go into our sorcery, which is $19. And it's a little where the problems start a little bit. So number 1 is we have Bend or Break. It is 3 in a red. Each player separates all lands they control into 2 face-up piles. For each player, an opponent chooses a pile. You destroy all lands in that pile. Tap all lands in the other pile.
Actually, I don't see this one too often.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah, well.
There's a reason, and it's probably because you have a play group that's not toxic.
Maybe I'll put this into Windgrace and I'll change that.
It's pretty fun, yeah. The again, land destruction is a valid playstyle. This
Absolutely.
Next one is shocking how much you can generate from it. It's Chatterstorm. It's 1 in a green. You create a 1/1 green squirrel token with Storm.
I love this card.
Yeah, you can actually get like pretty easily like 10 or 11 squirrels with this. I like it a lot.
Yeah, an army of squirrels is still an army.
True.
Then next up, we've got Fireball, X in a red. This spell costs 1 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Deals X damage, divided evenly, rounded down among any number of targets.
Yep. Just again, another good way to dump your mana in and kill the table.
Yeah.
I'll let you take the next one.
Sure. This next one is From the Ashes, 3 in a red. Destroy all non-basic lands. For each land destroyed this way, its controller may search his or her library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield. Then each player who searched his or her library this way shuffles it. Love it.
Yeah. We also have... Yeah, we've got Ruination. 3 in a red. You destroy all non-basic lands.
Nice.
I'm on a little bit of a theme here.
This next one here is Saheeli's Directive. X triple red. It's got Improvise, so each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1. Reveal the top X cards of your library. You may put any number of artifact cards with mana value X or less from among them on the battlefield. Then put all cards revealed this way that weren't put onto the battlefield into your graveyard.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It'll definitely fit us out. I know you're laughing at the next card.
Yep.
I'll let you check that one too.
This next one, just because Dan's an awful person. Tectonic Break, X double red. Each player sacrifices X lands.
It's pretty good.
It's incredibly good.
It's pretty rough. For everyone who hasn't read the episode title yet, I've named this episode Hitting Rock Bottom because we're playing with mana rocks and we're not good people anymore. I really, really had fun playing this deck. It's a lot. You could definitely make a non-land destruction version that'll still be fun, but you should.
It's always better with land destruction.
You should destroy some lands. So we've also got so in our creatures, it's a pretty small creature section, only 5. We have Burgi, God of Storytelling. It's 2 in a red, legendary god, 3/3. Whenever you cast a spell, you add a red until end of turn. You don't lose it as steps and phases end. And creatures can boast twice. We're not boasting, but that red mana on the cast, we've got a lot of 0 cost artifacts in this deck, like a lot of them. And that really is going to add up a lot to get those Comet Storm style wins off.
Actually, I really like Burgi in this deck too because most of your non-artifact section is red.
Yeah.
But Meria taps for green, so it kind of balances out really nicely.
Oh, if I could give these 2 partner, let me tell you, that would be the dream. Then on the back, it has Harnfell, the Horn of Bounty, 4 in a red, and you can discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You can play on this turn. It's nice. So on theme with what your commander wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like the whole thing, like again, if you could play these with partner and you could convince your play group that they belong together, then you'd have a more accepting play group than I do. But yeah, I wish that they had partner. Like I built the deck essentially around these two specifically.
Yeah.
Just Meria has the green, so.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Ingenious Artillerist, 2 and a red for a 3/1 human artificer. Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, Ingenious Artillerist deals that much damage to each opponent.
Yeah, this one puts in a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's again, we've got so many 0 costs, and the fact that like every time I put a 0 cost in, you lose a life is nuts.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's like I said, this deck is really, really fun to play. You can do it. This next card is really, really important because most of our deck is artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
It's Shimmermere. Oh, I skipped one, but
yeah,
I'll let you go back to that one. Shimmermere is the one I'm talking. It's 3 mana. It's the only artifact in our creature section. Mm-hmm. It has flash. It's a 2/2 mirror, and you can cast artifact spells as though they had flash. This deck, I will say right now, does not have a Vidalcan Orrery, and it really, really needs one.
Yeah,
it really, really needs one. You can do a lot more if you have an Orrery out. You should get an Orrery in the deck.
Absolutely, but I mean, Shimmermere is also very, very good.
Shimmermere is also very, very good. I like it, but this deck really pops with a Vidalcan Orrery. I'll tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Then yeah, jumping back, we got Reckless Fireweaver, 1 and a red for a 1/3 human artificer. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Reckless Fireweaver deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, again, we've got enough artifacts to kill the table with both the Ingenious Artillerist and the Reckless Fireweaver, so if we can get either of those out, generally speaking, we're going to really dish out a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll let you take this last one here.
Sure. So this last creature here is Treasure Nabber. It is 2 and a red for a 3/2 Goblin Rogue. Whenever an opponent taps an artifact for mana, gain control of that artifact until the end of your next turn.
I love this card.
Yeah, this one's awesome.
Yeah, this is a really, really good card to get out early. It's pretty solid and really does a lot more work than it. The better your play group is, the harder they're ramping generally.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I really, really like it. Like I said, I have a really, really basic land section. We've only got 2 non-basics to get hit with, basically.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but Treasure Nabber, like, taking people's, like, Mana Crypts, Mana Vaults, Soul Rings, Signets, like, I really, really like the acceleration you get from this Treasure Nabber. And it salts people a little bit, but I like to tell them, like, you're not even using it right now. You'll give it back. You'll get it back.
Yeah, you tapped it. You're not going to get it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You're not taking it back. I'll give it back. We're just sharing right now.
Exactly.
I really, really like this card so much.
What's that? This was Commander 2018?
Yeah, it's one that needs another reprint. It's already up to like a $12 card. It's 8 and Bergier, like the only 8 and Bergier $20 of the
$22
of the $22 creature section. Yeah, every section of this deck so far is really, really budget friendly. Like your commander, you got 25 cents, creatures 22, lands says 13, but that's if you have like 35 cents per land for because it auto populates to the 40k ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you skip those ones, cost without basic, it's a $200 deck. The Rockfall Vale is the only like dual color land I've got in the deck, and it's $2.
Yeah, and like everybody's got an Evolving Wilds and a command tower lying around somewhere anyway. Yeah,
again, like it's super, super small there. Your sorcery is $19, and if you throw a Ruination, that's 12 of the 19.
Mm-hmm. And then you could also just not have all the old. Yeah, you could also just not have all the old land destruction cards that'll bring it down.
Yeah,
like Tectonic Break is $3.
Yeah, you could also not destroy everyone's lands. You could do that, but so now we go into the biggest section of our deck, which is not really good. Without our commander, it's pretty bad. If somebody plays a what's the white card that makes it that you can't cast spells from anywhere but your hand?
Can't cast spells from anywhere but your hand? That is
Drannith. Yeah, this deck can't beat a Drannith. You have one card that can deal with Drannith, so you've got to try politics your way around it. You probably should put more removal and less land destruction in, but it's not how I play.
Actually, speaking of Drannith, I got a little bit of a side note. I was playing the other day, And I was playing my Derevi deck, which is pretty stacksy. And I was playing against my fiance was playing Godo.
Yeah.
Just because she wanted to try out, a bit more competitive stuff. And so she saw me cast because I had Momir Vig out. So I ended up searching for Dranith and then putting it into my hand because I cast a green and blue creature. And then she saw me have that and she's like, oh.
True.
Yeah. And then I played it and then, yeah, the game didn't last too much longer.
Yeah, Dranith is rough.
Yeah, I love it though.
Derevi's cool, and I'd love to do one of these days when I've got some more time. We'll do like just a few like 5 bonus episodes kind of thing, and go over like some of our favorite decks.
Yeah.
So this section that we're into now here is the most expensive in the deck. It's 43 cards, large, $134, which isn't really that bad to be honest.
Oh, it's definitely could be much worse.
Yeah, a few of the cards again you can cut down. Like the price is in only a few of them, and they're not really good, so you could lose them.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we see.
Yeah.
So we start with an Accorder Shield. It's just a 0 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets 0/3 and Vigilance, equip 3. But you just want to use it as a mana rock. So
yeah,
that's the whole point of it. You could technically make your commander bigger, but you don't need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could also, I did forget to mention, you could also go a fairly strong Voltron route with this, like for like equipping it with swords and stuff like that, because then you just turn all of your equipment into mana rocks as well.
Yeah.
So you do have like the option to do that, and that would probably be a fun deck too. I just built it this way because I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, it's
Next up we got Arcane Signet. 2 mana, tap 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity.
Yeah. Sometimes we need the color for, like you said, my red section's pretty big and I'm destroying lands.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Armillary Sphere to search 4 lands. It's 2 mana, and then 2 and a tap. You can sack it, search for up to 2 basics, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. Great color fixing if you need it, and if not, it's just another 2-drop artifact. Like it basically just works like nearly a signet.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one's got problems with signets.
No. Next up, we've got Astral Cornucopia, X. Enters the battlefield with X charge counters on it. You can tap it and choose a color. Add 1 mana of that color for each charge counter on Astral Cornucopia. Yeah,
this one's interesting because like to make it better than just our commander's ability, you need 6 mana at least.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, with all of the. Go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, so it's kind of figure out where you're at in the game, right? Like if you've got tons of mana and nothing to do with it later on in the game, sure, power sync it into Astral, but a lot of times you're going to drop it basically as like another Mox Emerald.
Yeah.
What were you going to say on it though?
I was just going to say pretty much exactly what you said. Like later in the game when you just got a ton of mana from your artifacts, you could just dump a bunch of it into this and then play something like Tectonic Break or your Fireball.
Yeah. It's nice for that and stuff, but like I said, generally speaking, we don't really need it.
No.
This one is going to put in a lot of work. The Blink Moth Urn, it's 5 mana. At the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, they add, if it's untapped, so no one else gets it as well, which is very nice. That player adds 1 colorless for each artifact they control. I love the if it's untapped cards.
Yeah, there's so many ways to just abuse those.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. But yeah, like I said, the ability, how much mana you'll generate from this, and then again, you can decide if you want to share it or not. But
yeah,
really, really like Blink Moth Urn, and it's like I said, we've got 43 artifacts, even with half of them out, or even a quarter of them out. 10 free mana is a lot of free mana.
Yeah, that's enough to do a lot with.
Right.
Then next up we've got Bonesaw, another 0 mana artifact. It's an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0, and it's got equip for 1. Kind of same thing.
Yeah.
Same,
yeah, exactly. We're not really using it for that. We also have Briber's Purse. It's just an X cost artifact. It enters with X gem counters on it and has 1 in a tap. You remove a gem counter on it. Target creature can't attack or block. This is actually nice to sink some mana in if you are against like a Voltron deck.
Yeah.
So that you can make it so they can't bash you.
Yeah.
But at its worst, you're dropping a 0 mana Mox Emerald. This deck basically just makes Mox Emeralds out of trash cards.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, and Mox Emerald is real expensive.
Oh yeah. Then we got Cathar's Shield, 0 mana equipment. Equip creature gets +0/+3 and it has vigilance. It has equip for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at all these like you said, 25-cent Mox Emeralds.
It's nice, right?
Oh yeah.
We've got Chimeric Mass. It's an X cost one. It enters with X charge counters on it. You pay 1 until end of turn. It becomes a construct artifact creature with power and toughness equal to the number of charge counters on it. Again, great to dump mana into late for a big beefy blocker.
Oh yeah.
But again, early it's just another Mox Emerald. Zero cost. X being 0 is still 0.
Exactly. Then we've got Dark Sphere, another 0 mana artifact. You can tap it to sacrifice Dark Sphere to prevent half of the damage done to you by a single source rounded down.
This will actually save you a fair bit of the
Absolutely.
time. Yeah. It's I should really put some like artifact recursion in the deck because a lot of these actually do have like a pretty good effect if you use them.
Actually, yeah. Yeah, actually I was thinking about that.
Yeah, again, the fact that you can do like prevent half the damage from something. Commander's nothing if not a format for huge splashy plays.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's pretty regular. Like yesterday in one of the games, I got hit by a 22/22 trampler. And that hurt. That hurt real bad.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and then I got hit by another one as well. I got hit by 2 of them. Down to 3 life left. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. It hurt me deeply.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would have been nice in that. Or even the fact to stop like commander damage from like one-shotting you, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. We also have Darksteel Relic. It's just a 0 cost artifact and it's indestructible. That's the whole point of it. That's it. Does nothing else. It is not useful in any way whatsoever unless you can do something like this with it. Yeah, it's just indestructible. You could go Metalcraft pretty easy in this deck too, but we didn't. But yeah, it's not a good card at all.
Yeah, so this next one is Delif's Cone, another 0 mana artifact. You can tap it and sacrifice it. In this turn, when target creature you control attacks and isn't blocked, you may gain life equal to its power. If you do, it assigns no combat damage this turn.
Which is actually pretty solid too, but not in this deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really have a creature that matters for that.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, but I like it a lot. The next one I actually really like, but it's a double-edged sword in this deck. So, we've got Engineered Explosives. It's X with Sunburst. It enters with a charge counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. You pay 2, you sacrifice it, you destroy each non-land permanent with CMC equal to the number of charge counters on it. This is great for wiping tokens off the face of the planet. If you've got like an annoying Smothering Tithes player who's got like 80 treasure tokens, it's awesome. Token players, the same thing. You're going to be able to essentially like clear the board of that nonsense for 2.
Yeah. However, it also hits your stuff.
Pretty much every artifact you have is 0 cost. And that's really, really going to hurt. So this is like a last resort kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not great. If you had a little bit of proliferate and you can get this up in charge counters, that's also a cool way of doing it. But generally speaking, the most you can get on it is 2. And pretty much everything we have is 2 or less. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we have like maybe 9, 10. Yeah, we've got 10 cards in the deck that are above 2 costs. So this is going to hurt us a lot. I would just like to have it as a scary Mox.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. But
it's kind of like a threat.
Yeah, exactly. It is nice to be able to threaten with it. It's also just, again, a very cool Mox Emerald.
Yeah.
So many different Mox Emerald artworks.
Next up, we've got Everflowing Chalice, 0 mana, multi-kicker for 2. Everflowing Chalice enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it for each time it was kicked. And you can tap it to add colorless for each charge counter on Everflowing Chalice.
Yep, again, the exact same thing as Astral Cornucopia.
Yeah.
Early game, Mox Emerald, late game, huge mana source. We also have Fountain of Youth, a 0 cost artifact that lets you pay 2 and a tap and you gain 1 life.
Beautiful.
Mox Emerald, but with life gain. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we've got Girapur Orrery, 4 mana. Each player may play an additional land on his or her turn. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, that player draws 3 cards. Oh yeah, look at that. It is Group Hug.
This card is a workhorse in this deck. Again, everything you have is like 0 cost, so you're going to be no hand all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, right. And then you're also able to, the fact that you can tap it for mana is great, but your commander's ability, you tap 2, you exile top card, you can play it. That's going to hit lands as well, right?
Yeah.
And hitting a double land in a row sucks unless you've got this card out. You also draw 3 and then still draw. So you've got like, that's a draw at upkeep, right? So you're going to, every draw step, essentially draw 4 and then still be able to pump out mana. It really, really puts in a lot of work and then kind of makes it so you'll get ahead of everyone really fast. Basically every turn that this was out, I was drawing 4 and dumping 2 lands into play. Because from my commander's thing, between 4 and like 3 or 4 exiles, you're going to hit a second land. I hope.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't, that'd be weird.
Yeah. I'll let you take this next one here.
Sure. So this next one is Goblin Charbelcher, 4 mana. You can pay 3 and tap it to reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Goblin Charbelcher deals damage equal to the number of non-land cards revealed this way to target creature or player. If the revealed land card was a mountain, Goblin Charbelcher deals double that damage instead. Put the revealed cards on the bottom of your library in any order.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
really like this card.
I like it a lot too. There's a fun way to like make it go a little silly later in the deck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that because you can stack them any way you want, right? So it's really easy to like every time you do it, if you get like 2 activations off, you can be like land. Let's say that you reveal like 3 and then a land, right? You would put your land at the very top. Then your next one, you would put like your land at the very bottom and have like 2. So the next time it hits for 5 and it's a mountain 10.
Okay.
Yeah, Charbelcher is really fun that way. The next one as well is a alternative win con in the deck because it gets out of hand pretty quickly in this. Yeah. It's a grind clock. It's 2 mana. You tap, put a charge counter on it, or tap, target player puts the top X cards of the library into their graveyard where X the number of charge counters on grind clock. Really should put a little proliferate in this deck. Now that I think about it, I got a lot of charge counter things.
Yeah.
Maybe a Karn's Bastion could be good. Put a Karn's Bastion in the deck.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, right? But yeah, it's the fact that you can just like silently kind of keep this going or use it again as like a pseudo signet is really, really nice.
Yeah, that's one thing I really like about this commander is it does give a home to all of these
junk cards that aren't good.
I was going to say it a bit nicer, but yeah.
Yeah, junk cards that aren't good at all.
Yeah, pretty much.
This next one is really important to this deck because no one likes your commander.
Yeah.
It's Herbal Poultice. 0 mana, and it has pay 3, sack it, regenerate target creature. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I got no problems with it. Again, it just Mox Emerald with regeneration.
I will say it is not Darksteel Relic levels of good, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, the Darksteel one is pretty terrible.
Next up, I'm not surprised to see this card in this deck at all. Got Howling Mine, 2 mana. At the beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mine is untapped, that player draws an additional card.
Honestly, I don't think anyone plays Howling Mine as much as me.
No, I
think that's my signature card. I need somebody to Photoshop my mouth wide open with the top corner artwork. Yeah, it's number one. Again, I like it. It's just a group hug card, but I like that I can deny people that draw if they've wronged me. Yeah,
this does give a lot of utility to this card in this deck too.
Yeah, Howling Mine is definitely a pretty cool one. I just like it a lot. I generally leave people to get their draws because I don't know. I like when people draw. I like to see what people are playing.
Makes the game go by faster.
Right. This next one's you take this next one. It's a mouthful, real mouthful.
Oh goodness, that is a lot of small writing.
Right.
This next one is Jeweled Amulet. It's a 0 cost. You can pay 1 and tap it to put a charge counter on Jeweled Amulet. Note the type of mana spent to pay this activation cost. Activate only if there are no charge counters on Jeweled Amulet. And you can tap it to remove a charge counter from Jeweled Amulet. Add 1 mana of Jeweled Amulet's last noted type.
Yeah. It's a very, very large amount of text to say Mox Emerald.
Yeah. Yeah, this is...
Although when you destroy lands, it is nice to be able to color fix if you have to.
Yeah, true. Yeah, this is another one that I don't see too much, but
I'm shocked.
Yeah, but you don't see really bad cards being played?
They're not good. This is a pretty not good deck, but the commander makes it really fun. And again, if you can rule 0 the deck to allow you to have Burgi and Meria as your commanders, then you're golden. Then you're in the money. But I don't know. I think that one might be a stretch when you destroy their lands.
Yeah, I think you'd have to do a lot of sweet talking to your playgroup to get them to let you do this.
There's really some cards that just should be partnered up as they come out. And these are it. It's not adding an extra color. It's both of them are very on flavor of my 0 mana artifacts, giving me colored mana, which is again fun. And then both of them have an ability to do something to get cards from exile. I think that they fit together.
Yeah, I would say this is. But again, looking at them, I don't think that they would be broken if they were in this deck specifically if they were partnered together.
Yeah, you would just get a little more mana, but
you just get a red and a green.
Yeah, a lot of the time I have 0 cost things in my hand anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna get 3 mana so that I can play that Darksteel Relic out of my hand.
Yeah.
Grow up. We've also got Kite Shield, 0 mana, another equipment. Equipped creature gets +0/+3 with equip 3. Easy, and it's the exact same as a quarter shield. Oh, a quarter shield gives you vigilance. It's worse a quarter shield.
I don't know if it's got a place in this deck then.
So this next one, again, real problematic in this. Please take it away.
Sure. This next one is Knowledge Pool, 6 mana. It's got Imprint. When it enters the battlefield, each player exiles the top 3 cards of his or her library. Whenever a player casts a spell from his or her hand, that player exiles it. If the player does, he or she may cast another non-land card exiled with Knowledge Pool without paying that spell's mana cost.
So that card's mana cost. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with this one.
Yeah, this one's nuts.
Number 1, Possibility Storm should be in this deck. I'm looking at it now more and more. It really should be in the deck. Put Possibility Storm in, cut something else. Cut Shatterstorm. All right, now, that note aside, you don't need to play from your hand. You can play from exile, so Knowledge Pool doesn't really affect you. You're still going to be able to play your things as you want them. But you're going to be able to dump these trash 0 mana artifacts in, because as we said, these are good specifically from this commander. But if let's say that you play so much removal and stuff, the fact that I can take your Cyclonic Rifts, your counter spells, whatever, by dumping my Kite Shields and my Darksteel Relics. It's so funny. The fact that you can take you can take the best of the best. You can take people's Ulamogs, you can take their Soul Rings, you can take, because these cards don't do, a quarter shield is a nothing card compared to what you can take from an average deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's really, really fun to Knowledge Pool is really going to do so much work, and especially us being us having a workaround of that card onto the battlefield makes it so we can still respond. We can still kind of do what we want. If you wanted to go more into this chaos route, you could get senseis or something to senseis, a scroll rack kind of thing to reorganize so you knew what you were going to get.
Yeah, true.
But like I said, just the fact that you can dump these trash cards, and that's what if you like them, I'm very happy for you. But Kite Shield's a trash card. I'm gonna call it what it is. If somebody, no one's gonna be upset if someone spills pop on my Kite Shield.
No,
I'm gonna be you owe me a quarter, you monster. Right?
How could you do this to me?
Yeah, they're not great, but like I said, the fact that you can just Knowledge Pool generally salts everyone as is. It's already an annoying card. But an annoying card where my commander already works around it is much more annoying. And just like I said, there's so many, I've had so many good things put in. You every time you try play something, it's a constant game of get it in, get it out. For us, we're not going to care. We still want our 0 cost artifacts, so getting them back out isn't a problem for us.
Yeah.
But like I said, the fact that you can steal people's good cards, you can steal actual valuable things is really funny.
Yeah.
Don't judge me. I heard it in your voice.
This next one is Mindslaver. 6 mana for legendary artifact. You can pay 4 and tap it to sacrifice Mindslaver. You control a target player during that player's next turn.
Yeah, it's a fun
You
card.
see all cards that player could see and make all decisions for that player.
Can I tell you what this card is really for?
Mox Emerald.
No, this card it is a Mox Emerald. No, this card is for players like Brian in my play group or Alex.
Yeah.
And it's just for taking their turn and like using their own removal on their own Smothering Tides or throwing all their treasures away. It's hilarious. If someone is like sitting there stockpiling treasures and you just sacrifice like 50 of their treasures, tap all their lands and say pass, it'll make them much angrier than them losing their turn. It'll make them so much more mad. Like you just do it. Hopefully you can draw and discard some more of their stuff. A really, really fun thing to do is if you've got a control commander, lots of people run like things like an unsummon, all that kind of stuff. If you can unsummon their commander to their hand and discard it so it sits in the graveyard, even more funny. It's really a good time. I had one of the most disrespectful plays I've ever seen, I think, is somebody bounced my Animar to hand while I was Mindslavered.
Yeah.
And then did one of the like Days Undoing or something like that. Like they shuffled hands and libraries in, so my Animar went into my deck.
Oh no!
Oh, it was pretty good. I respected that play. It salted me to the very core of my being.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was not great, but yeah, Mindslaver is fun. And again, like I said, it's really easy to justify to your play group that you're just going to throw away like annoying people's cards.
Mm-hmm.
I take pretty quick turns as is, so
yeah, true.
Yeah. It's basically, for me, it's waste their mana, waste their removal, pass.
Yeah. Make sure they can't do anything.
Yeah, right? The next one we have on this list is Mirrorworks, and we've got a lot of artifacts, so you'd think this would be good, but you'd be wrong. It's 5 mana. Whenever another non-token artifact enters under your control, you can pay 2. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that artifact. For a lot of this, it's not going to matter. Again, you're not going to pay 2 to make a second Darksteel Relic because our commander can't tap token once.
I think you should make a second Darksteel Relic.
Just to have it? Just to flex?
Yeah, exactly. What's better than 1 useless card?
Yeah, right?
2 useless cards.
2 useless cards is right. Yeah, it's, I don't know, like I said, there's some in here that actually are pretty cool if you can get a second version, but not many. It's another one I might cut for something else, but...
Yeah, fair.
Like, it's the next card. I'm not going to pay 2 mana to get a second one.
No. This next one is Mishra's Boblet, 0 mana. Tap and sacrifice it to look at the top card of target player's library, and you can draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep.
Yeah. It's $10 as well.
Yeah.
It's not really worth $10. You can definitely cut that down. It does give you like good like game knowledge, I guess. You can be like, oh, I know Slothy is a heavy control player. Let me see what he's got going on here.
Very rarely have anything going on.
Yeah, and it gives you, well, I can see, especially if you've like tutored something to the top.
Yeah, true.
Right, and then it gives me the draw if in a pinch.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, really, really phenomenal card in this deck. It's I'm not over how much I like this card. It's Mirror Matrix. It's 5 mana. It's indestructible, which is great. All mirror get +1/+1, which is great. And you can pay 5 mana. You put a 1/1 mirror artifact token into play. So this is where we could like start getting into what we need, right? Like if we have that background out, right, the street urchin, we can hurl our artifacts at people.
Yeah.
So this just gives us bombardment. But for 5 mana, we're making 2/2s, and a lot of times, we're going to have like 20 mana available per turn. So even if we're just sitting there holding it up, we're going to be able to make like 4 2/2s every go around, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's and it gets better with like the cards at the end here. You'll see what's up. But yeah, no, Mirror Matrix is really, really great. It is definitely a good one to if you can mirror works it so that your mirrors get +2/+2, that's awesome.
Yeah. Then we've got Orochi Hatchery, XX for an artifact. Enters the battlefield with X charge counters on it. You can pay 5 and tap it to put a 1/1 green snake creature token onto the battlefield for each charge counter on Orochi Hatchery. I
got this out last night with 20 charge counters on it.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was a real problem. And no one had lands.
Yeah.
And I had one of the cards at the end. Yeah, it was a real problem. I won in a not spectacular way last night. It was everyone's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna be done. And I was like, I respect that.
Yep, that's it for me.
I respect that. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Please take this next one as well.
Sure. This next one is Possessed Portal. It is 8 mana. If a player would draw a card, that player skips that draw instead. At the end of each turn, each player sacrifices a permanent unless he or she discards a card from his or her hand. This works very, very well with your commander here.
Yeah. And it's really, really annoying because it happens for everyone at the end of every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of times, again, my deck is nothing but trash artifacts. I'll throw that Darksteel Relic away, no problem.
Yeah, I really like this card in this deck, actually.
Yeah.
It
does a lot. Again, we've got a lot of token generation, even in our last two. But we've just got so many 0-cost artifacts. Again, like if we're going around the board, let's even say we're in a normal 4-person game, it gets to it. You're gonna strip everyone's hand away.
Yeah.
And like maybe lose like a Cather's Shield, a Bone Saw, and a Quarter Shield, and a Kite Shield. Like,
oh no.
Yeah, and like you can throw the portal away at any point.
Yeah, you could sack it to itself.
Yeah, exactly, right? But like it's gonna, especially like we're not inconvenienced by not drawing, but this is gonna like hit your Ristic Study players like a truck. Like anyone whose deck cares about drawing is really, really gonna like be hurt by this. And I love commanders that draw from the command zone. Like I built Shanna yesterday as well.
Yeah.
And that one is like really, really fun. That one needs more interaction for sure. But just the fact that like I love like Selvala is one of my favorite commanders. I've got like 3 Selvala Explorer Return decks because I love that built-in draw. I love Xeris. Like I love anything that lets me draw from the command zone, and this just ruins that plan. Like there's, generally speaking, I think the player who has the more consistent draw wins more. They've got more access to their deck.
Yeah, they're able to get what they need faster and more consistently.
But this one's rough to hit the board because, like I said, the fact that you're going to lose 4 cards from hand or 4 permanents every go around an average table is going to hurt.
Absolutely, yeah.
And a lot of times, like if you've got the one that I keep talking about later is it's Unwinding. It gives me like an extra untap. We'll talk about it again when we get there, right?
Yeah.
But if I have like an Unwinding out with this and my Orochi Hatchery, even if I'm just like making like 5 snakes a turn, I'll throw those snakes away like unwanted mail. Yeah, like it's you know what I mean? Like Possessed Portal is gonna like it is gonna wreck the game for people. It's an expensive card for sure at 8 mana. But again, the deck is Mox Emeralds. Literally, you have an 8 mana Mox Emerald at this point.
Exactly. Like you just need to play like how many 0 drops are in here? More than 8.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think when I looked at the stats, it was like 23 or 24 or something like that. It was a fairly large amount.
Jeez.
Where's my?
I wonder what is the average CMC?
The average CMC is really high because it's not counting the 0 costs.
2.06 it says.
Yeah, but there's 24 0 CMC artifacts.
Yeah.
24 Mox Emeralds. Yeah, it does a lot.
I love it.
Like I said, Possessed Portal is really, really a problem. The next one as well is a problem if you can get Possessed Portal on it too. It's really annoying because then you can just keep making Possessed Portals.
The
next one's Prototype Portal. It's 4 mana with imprint. When it enters, you exile an artifact from your hand, and X and a tap, you create a token that's a copy of the exiled card. Exiled is the CMC. So number one, there's a few things in here that are like really, really good to be able to get this. Again, if you can Mirror Matrix this, if you can Mindslaver and just keep taking everyone's turns, that's hilarious. Like take everyone's turn every turn. That would be really funny to do and could be very easily achieved with Unwinding Clock.
Yeah.
It would be disrespectful, but it's something that you could do in this deck. I don't condone it. Yes, I do. It's
who are we kidding?
It would be pretty fun. But another one is you can get that Herbal Poultice on here so that you have a constant source of 0 mana regenerate for your commander.
Yeah, true.
Which is really, really nice. But yeah, there's again, it's not all just horribly garbage cards. It's just mostly horribly garbage cards.
Yeah.
Even being able to get like a 0 mana Mishra's Bauble, so every turn you tap for look at their top card, draw a card. Not bad.
No, not at all.
I definitely like it.
Yeah, this next one. It's a card that I really like. I actually really like this artwork for it too. Sculpting Steel. 3 mana, you may have Sculpting Steel enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact on the battlefield.
Solid.
Yeah.
I really like making a second prototype portal, but very solid.
Yeah.
Then we've got a Sigil of Distinction. It's X. It comes into play with X charge counters on it. Equipped creature gets 1/1 for each charge counter on it, and the equip is remove a charge counter from it. This actually can make your commander huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine so.
Yeah. Especially if you've like wiped the board of mana and stuff, you may just be able to smash face with like a 20/20 Meria.
Yeah, just win through commander damage.
Which would be a fun way that I have not won this deck with, but would be fun.
Yeah.
We've got Soul Ring because obviously. It's just
obviously.
Mox Emerald or Mox Emerald that taps for 2, colorless for 1.
Yeah. Then we got Spellbook, 0 mana. You have no maximum hand size.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, Reliquary Emerald.
Yeah.
We've got Spider Silk Net. Don't judge me.
That just clicked.
Yeah. What, the Reliquary Emerald? Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider Silk Net. We've got 0 mana. Equipped creature gets +0/+2 and has reach with equip 2. Well.
Yeah. Then we've got Tormod's Crypt, 0 mana. Tap and sacrifice it. Exile all cards from target player's graveyard.
Yeah, I like that. I also really like this card. It's annoying.
Oh, absolutely.
It's Trinisphere. It's 3 mana. As long as it's untapped, each spell that would cost less than 3 to cast costs 3.
Nice.
So the fact that we can tap it, we're good to go. But we're really dropping people down and taxing them on this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really hurt a lot of elf decks and a lot of early mana plays.
Mm-hmm. This hurts a lot of very low to the ground or low CMC decks.
Yeah, a goblin deck isn't going to like this one, or anything that's like doing a free cast.
Yep.
Because it's like, especially if you're like doing like from a knowledge pool, right? You can cast it without paying its mana cost, but that makes its mana cost 0, so you still have to pay 3 too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fun. Same with what's it called? Possibility Storm, stuff like that. Pretty sure that's how it works.
I think so, yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, I believe so. I should double check it, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah.
We also have this Unwinding Clock that I haven't shut up about. Unwinding Clock is amazing. So it's 4 mana. You untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. If you get this out with your Mirror Matrix or your Orochi, you're going silly. Like, again, like I was saying, I was making 4 mirrors a turn with just 20 of the mana. So every time you go around, you're making 16 2/2s, 32 power every go around of the board. Is a lot of power.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, you can really, especially if you've got like I said, I had like 20 or 30 counters. I'm pretty sure it was 20. Whatever it was a lot of counters. No, it was 30. Yeah, it was 30 counters on the Orochi Hatchery. 5 mana every turn, make 30 snakes.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Let's even call it, for humility's sake, let's call it 10. That's only 40 snakes every time we go around the board.
Oh, only.
Yeah, it's a lot. It does a lot. Yeah, Unwinding Clock is really going to be the MVP card of this deck. If you can get it out, like you can basically become unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this next one is Urza's Bauble, 0 mana, tap and sacrifice it, choose a card at random from target player's hand and look at that card. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's pretty not good. Again, it gives you a little bit of game knowledge, but at random, and then you draw a card. It's not very good. It's not great.
Yeah.
The next card is great and
so
fun to play.
Phenomenal.
It's one of my favorite artworks of the year, too.
Yeah, the artwork's beautiful on this one.
Yeah, I just love it. It's Wand of Wonder, and I really should put Chaos Wand in this deck, too. Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't include that one. Chaos Wand would be another great option. But Wand of Wonder, Chaos Wand's definitely got to go in the deck now that I think about it. Put a Chaos Wand in the deck, too. Wand of Wonder, though, is 3 in red. You really think that I would think these decks out way more before I do it, but like I like that you could just in real time see my brain work and be like, wait a minute. Wait just 1 second. Yeah. So
yeah,
these are not as thought out as I think. I built too many decks to spend the multitude of hours tuning them. So that's why I constantly say everyone could build these better than me. But we've got Wand of Wonder. It's 3. It's a red. You pay 4. You roll a d20. Love it. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery, then shuffles the rest. You can cast up to X instant or sorceries from among them without paying their mana cost. 1 to 9, you cast 1. 10 to 19, 2. If you nat 20, you get your 3.
I love this card so much.
Oh, it's so fun. It's really, really fun to dig for answers, like to dig for other people's counter spells, but it's also just fun to see what people have, what they got going on.
Yeah.
I really like it. And again, if you don't cast them, they just exile them.
Yeah, true. So if you don't use them, nobody gets to.
Yeah.
This next one is actually a pretty useful 0-mana artifact in this deck.
Yeah.
It's Welding Jar. You can sacrifice it to regenerate target artifact. Your Unwinding Clock's going to be a target for removal.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's card that's got to go if it can go.
Yeah. Just having something like this makes it really a lot more difficult to deal with.
Welding Jar is really good. There's also a really fun card as well. You can go more the like Collector Oof way, where you take away everyone's ability to use artifacts, because Meria's ability is not from the artifacts, it's from Meria.
Yeah.
That's a fun way. But yeah, Welding Jar really, really does put in work to save a lot of cards, like the next card.
I love this next card so much. Yeah, and I should not love this card so much, but I do.
Please take it away.
This next one is Winter Orb. 2 mana. As long as Winter Orb is untapped, players can't untap more than 1 land during their untap steps.
I hate this card. I couldn't find a Static Orb. That's the only reason it's not in the deck. Just know in my heart, I wanted a Static Orb and a Storage Matrix.
Fair.
Yeah, but Winter Orb was enough. It's bad. It's pretty not friendly.
That's pretty friendly.
I also like the very first part of the flavor text. How could anyone survive this? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's... Yeah. See, that wasn't actually Nariman, Veteran Explorer, saying that. That was the testing team for Wizards.
Yeah, that's my play.
Who said that?
Yeah, right. And then we also have, at the very end, the very final end of this, my pride and joy, we have Zurin Orb.
Such a good card.
Yeah, 0 mana, you sack a land, you gain 2 life. It actually does work a lot in this deck because we're destroying so many lands all the time. Just be like, each player sacrifices 13 lands, and I'll be like, in response, I'll throw my 13 lands away.
Yeah, gain 26 life.
Gain 26 life, and then I'm like, oh, well, I don't have lands either, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is my deck. It's Meria hitting rock bottom.
I really like this.
It's actually super fun to play. Like I said, it needs a few tweaks. There's a few things. Possibility Storm should for sure be in the deck. I should probably slot it in a few less artifacts, get a little more interaction, like a Chaos Warp, a Chef's Kiss, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Did you consider throwing in a Seedborn Muse as well? It should just kind of double up on the Unwinding Clock effect.
No.
Fair enough.
I should, yeah. There's a lot. Literally, I built this deck as I was building like 6 other decks.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I make piles, and those piles become decks, and those decks are often not great, but they're fun. Yeah, this one, there's, like I said, Seedborn would be a great option. You really should cut the land destruction out. That does give you a few spots, but
you should not cut the land destruction.
But it's pretty funny.
That sounds like you should always have more land destruction, if anything.
Yeah, but it's pretty funny. Again, you don't need 26 0-cost artifacts in this deck to make it function. You've got a lot. I pretty regularly had 30 or 40 mana a turn. As well, I've kind of breezed over this whole thing. All of these trash artifacts also let me get the top card of my library that I can keep playing.
Yeah.
So you essentially have 43 plus sources of pseudo draw.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it's just, again, even if you have 10 artifacts out, the fact that you can see and play your top 5 artifacts, you have over a 25% chance to hit a 0-cost artifact in the deck, and then an over 25% chance to hit ramp. So you're at 50% of ramping. It's pretty stupid how there's not many things that you're not you might whiff your Possess Portal early game. Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo, no. Yeah, your play group's going to be upset.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, with the grind clock, two rounds of it, with your unwinding clock, makes this card just annoying. Two full rounds gives you 8 charges on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you just even get another round around, you get nearly 40 cards milled on anyone who's annoying you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's with unwinding clock, it really puts in a lot. It's a nice pseudo side win condition if someone's got too much life to Comet Storm or Rampage of the Clans to death.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, mill is viable. We've got Gruul Mill.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I just possess Portal as well. Like it's just I just like this deck.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't think it's too silly.
Nah, I really like. There's a couple of cards that I really like in here, but that's mostly coming from a stacks player's perspective.
Sometimes you got to stacks your group. I get it.
Exactly. You're running a lot of, like we mentioned, zero cost artifacts that don't do a lot. You gotta find a way to get to your win condition.
I'm running a lot of group hug. I got Descent into Avernus. I got a Howling Mine. What do you guys want?
Exactly. Who cares if you've also got Winter Orb and Tectonic Break and
a Rites of Flourishing would be another solid one in this deck to get more of those lands out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I got a Jiriper Ori. Come on, why are you guys complaining? You can play 2 lands. Sure, I'm gonna destroy them. I'll be the first to admit that. But you can still play 2.
You can play them. You can have them for now.
Yeah. No, it's a really fun deck, and like I said, there's so many fun and interesting ways that you can build Meria. I might do like a Voltron one as well, because it would be pretty interesting being like all of your artifacts turn into mana rocks to further equip them. Because then a lot of times the risk of a Voltron commander with equipment is how expensive it is to re-equip them.
True. Yeah.
But then these are just like tons and tons of artifacts. I'm gonna make a second version of this too. I like it. Yeah, no, Meria is a very, very fun card. It's it was really well designed. I'm just in love with the flavor of this card. We got essentially like a gruul urza, and
yeah, exactly.
And I kind of built it this way in honor of that urza.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, I really like this one. I'm excited to play against it.
Yeah, like I said, I think that you would enjoy this one. Yeah, I just did like a playtest hand.
Yep.
So like in the opening, we've got like a mountain, a Tormods, Herbal Poultice, a forest, and a Kite Shield. So we've got 5 technical mana sources if we draw 1 land card in the next 3, which second draw was Command Tower.
So I did an opening hand and got 2 mountains, Chimeric Mess, Saheli's Directive, Beast Within, Street Urchin, and a Quarter Shield. Then the first draw was Evolving Wilds. So yeah. Again,
you're nearly at it. But yeah, for me, like the opening was Kite Shield, Forest, Herbal, Blink Moth, Burgee, Wild, Tormod's Mountain. And then we drew a Dark Sphere and a Command Tower. So like we would be in a real good place. Like we'd have, by turn 3, we'd have, let me look, with our commander out, we'd have 6 available mana in the opening hand. And then the next one, we would drop our Blink Moth, a draw. Yeah, we would drop our Blink Moth and go into the next turn. So our turn 4 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana on turn 4.
It's not bad at all.
It's pretty aggressive ramp. Oh, and then the next draw was Unwinding Clock. Let's go. It's it's a pretty stupid deck. I have a lot of fun playing it. But yeah, I will like I said, I'm ranting about it. Let me know what you guys would, let me hit this button here. Let me know what you guys would have put in this deck. Is land destruction viable? Is this a bad person deck? Yeah, let me know if you guys like the deck. We always love hearing feedback. And if you have a Meria list, I'd love to see what direction you went in it, like how you guys decided you were going to play it. And yeah, thanks again so much for joining us and getting through the episode. We really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you guys are loving these new commanders as much as I am.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and with that, goodbye. Also,
see ya.
Also, try convince your playgroup to play with Burgee and let me know how it goes. Let me know your secrets. Bye-bye, everyone.
See ya.